Okay, I just want to make sure that we're good to go here. I hear people kind of coming and going. I want to make sure we're all clear. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this. Okay, so I've got this right here. So going over this right here, let me just make sure I've got attendance for everybody here. But everything from here on out is going to be worth at least 100. So let's see, we've got Lisa Coase, she's here. Chad Collier is not here. Okay, Alexander Davison is not here. Joshua Greenman is here. Very good. And then we've got going down the list right here. Ryan Morris. Looking for Ryan. Are you here, Ryan? Don't see you there. Looks like I've just got a couple people out of here. Okay, so Ryan Morris is not here. And Chad Collier, everyone else is here. Okay, good. All right, good to have you guys here. So as I was saying, what's happening with this? And by the way, your work is looking good. I took a look at it, and for the most part, it's good. A lot of you were losing points simply because you didn't save it with the correct name. And you may say, like, why are you such a stickler for this? Here's why. When you're working in the CAD environment, when you're working, what's going to happen is very often there is a thing called document management. Okay, and what this means is people will need to actually take a look and try to find documents based upon certain standards. CAD standards are a real thing. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm enforcing this right now from the very beginning. It's an easy thing to do. All you have to do is pay attention and name something correctly. That's all you have to do. It's worth 10 points. Worth 10% of your grade. And so I decided that was an easy thing to do. If you don't do it, it's going to cost you 10%. You can still get an A, still get 90, but you're going to lose that. So this is an easy thing to do. I want you to pay attention to this, though. It's something that going forward, you will thank me for if you ever do work with CAD. You're gonna be very glad you paid attention to that. So that's one thing. Most of you had no problem with it. Some were kind of consistent in that, and so it's just something you want to pay attention to. It's something that easily remedied. Okay. So the good news is most of the drawings up to this point were only worth 10, so not much loss. When you get up into the hundreds, yeah, that's going to be more costly. So you just want to be careful. If you have any questions with anything that I've graded, please come back and talk to me. It's like if there's something that you feel I grade pretty fairly, but if you're saying like, oh, this or that, or you have a question, please feel free to approach me about it. I'm very open to that kind of a thing. Okay, so we got that going on right now, and so what we've done so far is we've done all those letter drawings, and we did drawing floor plan 1. That was due last week, and then due tonight is drawing floor plan 2 and drawing front elevation. So those were all due. So it looks like we're doing pretty good right now. I got some various comments from people, so it looks like you guys are doing well, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking your guys' questions, and so that's all good. And so that's all a good thing. So before I launch into tonight's we're only going to cover one drawing tonight, which is going to be the foundation plan. Not terribly difficult, but it's something I want you guys to see and be aware of. Before I start to move on and get into the curriculum for tonight, I hope everything's going well for you. It was a nice sunny day today. I hope you guys are doing well. And I was wondering if there's any questions you guys have for me before we get started. Just want to open the floor up for any kind of questions or comments to see how things are going. From what I've seen, you guys are doing well. Some of you are starting, I've got a few of you guys that have not handed in drawings. And the most recent ones, I'm a little concerned about that because once they get into the hundreds, you don't want to, and you're going to lose 10% if it's late. So if it's not named correctly, you lose 10%. And if it's not on time, you lose 10%. Okay. Now, I'll only pick one because I want you guys to do the drawings. That's how that'll work. So as far as that goes, just let's not let these things get away from us. It gets really hard to catch up. I've had a few students who said, oh, Mr. Brennan, he's great about grading. It's like, I'll just let it go. And then they try to do everything on the last weekend, and they try to complete everything. And I've had students actually fail or get a D- because they did that. So don't do that. You don't need to do that. This is actually really easy. We've got time. We have plenty of resources here to go ahead and work on it. And I'm showing you how to do this stuff. Just get the work done in a timely way, because if you get on the back side of it, it gets really hard because I'm going through a lot of concepts right here. So just stick with it. It's not a real high bar, but the thing is, if you don't keep the bar, then it's going to get in front of you pretty quickly. So anyway, that's how that goes. So I said I was going to ask you guys for questions or comments. I'll open it up right now if there are any. Waiting for the Jeopardy music to kick in. All right. Okay. Looks like there's nothing. So everything has been flawlessly presented, and there are no questions, and everything I've covered has been 100%. And it could be. I mean, I've been doing this, and the curriculum has been very solid for a couple of years now. So we're good to go there. And plus, you guys might just want to get out early. So I get that too. So, which hopefully, yeah, we can get done with the lecture in a timely fashion, which I think we can do. All right. So good. We're going to jump in here. So what we're going to do right now, for next week, which is March 10th, what is due? Well, what is due is this right here. This is the drawing foundation plan, which we're going to work on, which is the next thing in the series of drawings we're going to make, which are all construction documents. So far, we've done a floor plan, and then we did a specific floor plan 2, which was for a project called Southfield. Well, Southfield, the reason I chose the name Southfield is because the community I grew up in suburban Detroit was Southfield, and it looks like a house that was built in Southfield. That's why I just kind of picked that, just had to pick something, so I used Southfield. And so using Southfield as the name right there, that's the name of the project. So everything we're doing right now, the floor plan for number 2 is Southfield. The front elevation is Southfield. The drawing foundation plan is Southfield, which we're going to do right now. And they're all the same building. They're all the same structure. So we're going to get into that. So now that we've done that, when you talk about a foundation plan, there's a few things you're going to want to take note of. And that is that essentially the foundation plan is going to be very similar to the floor plan that we did before. So we're going to work on that right now. So let's go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. So we go to Blackboard. What you want to do, like everything else we've done here, you go to Blackboard. And over here, we're now on week 6. This is week 6, and we're on the foundation plan. So we're all caught up right now. So this is good. So now I've got the foundation plan right here. This is where you upload it. This is where I've got the template. And this is where I've got the foundation plan Southfield master. And this is actually the lecture. So if I were to go to here and go ahead and download this here, this is what it looks like. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and move it out of the way. And I'm going to put this over here. And by the way, over here where my cursor is over in this part, is that being blanked out, or can you guys see through that right there? Or right here, is this something that is kind of affecting you? Also, I just got a chat right here. All right, let's see here. Very good. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Good. Thank you for the notes. I just did read those, and so we're good to go. Thank you, guys. Okay, so going over this right here, are you guys seeing that the screen is kind of blanked out right up here? I'm going to move this around right here. Is this kind of leaving a blank spot on your screen when I do that?
No.
No, it's not. Okay, that's good, because a couple weeks ago we had that problem right there, and I just want to make sure we don't have that recurrence. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so we're recording now. Let me ask you one other question before I go any further. Have any of you guys been accessing the videos? I looks like you have, but I'm just going to ask: have you guys been accessing those, and have they been helpful?
Yeah, very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a yes. Okay, good. I actually have people. I don't know if you guys noticed, but some of them you probably haven't looked through the whole library. But I've been doing this now for like, I don't know, 2 years. And I've been starting to put out videos on a pretty regular basis. And I got people like throughout well, a lot of them are like over in India. I got people over in India and the Middle East who have been routinely taking my files and using them. So I've got this one. I don't know why it is. It's the wall section tutorial. I've got this incredible, I got like 2,000 hits on it. It's just like, everything else is like 15, 20, 30.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, 2,000 hits. And it's like, I don't know why. It's a wall section tutorial, and it's like, oh, well, anyway, but it's getting real popular and it's getting passed around now. So what's happening, what I do is and I make this all free content. And so what I do out there is I actually provide the PDFs, just like I do for you guys. And then I actually have the instructions. I have people saying, man, this is awesome. This is really good stuff. So you're getting the goods here, folks. And the thing is, and there's a lot of stuff you can get for free besides this right here. So yeah, so there we have it. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm kind of surprised. And so it's kind of taken off, and who knows, things tend to go like this. When you're starting to build a business or anything else, it tends to be flat line. Then all of a sudden you get the hockey stick where people start to kind of like pick up on it, and then it kind of like takes off. And at least on some of my videos, I'm starting to have a little bit of that. And I mean, I don't have any delusions of grandeur, but it would be kind of nice to be able to maybe charge people to charge Google to advertise on that. That'd be nice. I wouldn't mind that, making some money from Google, because they sure have made plenty from me by stealing my data. So anyway, we're going to move on from there. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to download this. Right here is your download. I'm going to download this PDF, and I'll just go ahead and drop it to my screen, and it's right here. So once I've got this right here, I'm going to open it up. And when I've got it here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to go ahead and rotate it like this. So this is what it looks like. This is what you've got right here. And so what I want to do right here, I got another chat right here. Let's see what we got here. Let's see here. Remember when you're YouTube famous? Yes, yes, I will. Yes, it's like I'll remember the little people that made me who I am. How's that? And we'll go ahead and do that. But anyway, that'll be fun. So anyway, we get in this. Now, this right here is a foundation plan. Now, what this is like you're in the basement. You walked into the basement, and what you're going to do right now is, as we're in the basement, what we're going to do is we are going to realize that, oh, okay, there is a structure above us. What's in the basement? Well, what's in the basement typically are things you're going to see right here. What you're going to see over here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to point these out for you guys so you can see them. I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull, and I'm going to use this little spotlight here. Okay, this might help. Okay, what I've got to do right now, you see this little red marker here. What you got right here are columns. Okay, you got these columns right here. Now these columns right here are actually in place right here. They're 6-inch by 6-inch wood columns that are on these footings. So the green are columns. The green are 6 by 6-inch columns, and the red are footings. They're footings actually for those columns. That's what you have right there. And you have right here this dashed cyan line right here that actually zigzags right there. That is where my support beams are. So you got support beams here, because every structure typically is going to have some kind of beams, some kind of iron, some kind of support structure. It might be a lamb beam, but you got that in place. And that's what we have right here. So this is what we're going to work on here. So as I work on this right now, one of the things that as you're working in these different fields right here is you want to put in all the dimensions that are necessary, but you don't want to put any in that aren't necessary. So you don't just want to kind of throw them in there if it can be figured out reasonably. Now, for me on this one right here, there might be a couple that are maybe a little bit difficult to figure out, but I have confidence in you guys can make this work. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pull out my latest and greatest file right here, which I actually have got right in here, and I hope I don't spill my tea. Any of you guys drink tea?
Yeah, I love it.
What kind of?
I'm a huge tea snob.
There's a few takers on that. I'm drinking peppermint tea right now. Anyone drink peppermint tea?
I'm drinking peppermint right now.
You are? Okay. The nice thing about it is it doesn't keep you awake. It tastes wonderful. And it's good stuff. And so peppermint. Okay. Anyone else? Now, I think, did I mention you guys last week that my daughter-in-law is British? Did I tell you guys that last week?
No.
Yeah. My daughter-in-law is for real British. Okay. She actually grew up. Really interesting story. Her family were East Enders. And I'm going to ask you a little question right here. See how much you guys know about British culture. All right. When somebody is from the East End, is that the rich side of London, or is that the poor side of London?
I don't know. Is that the part where they have theater?
That would be the West End.
Never mind then.
Poor.
All right. The East side, that's where the Cockney people are. That's where the poor people are. So her family, years and years and years ago, were pretty poor. And what happened is, for those of you guys more British history, my family is heavily British and Irish. So I'm almost all from those little islands out there. That's why I look like this and I celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And so anyway, that's what we had going on. I actually got a chance to go to Ireland, and everybody looks like me. Scary, I know. But it was kind of shocking how everyone kind of like had the same look. But anyway, I digress. But Britain is over there. So her family, actually, after World War I, we talk about World War II quite a bit here in America. You know, you got Saving Private Ryan, and you got Unbroken, you got, Band of Brothers, all these movies, and all these. Has anyone seen any of those movies that I just mentioned? Band of Brothers, the series on HBO, Saving Private Ryan, or Unbroken. Anyone see any of those?
Band of Brothers is awesome.
Yeah, Band of Brothers is awesome. I actually just bought that recently. I've got the whole thing, and I've been going through it. It's so good. I saw a few episodes years ago, and I went ahead and bought them. It is awesome stuff. So we're pretty familiar with World War II, but World War I, was for Britain really, really costly. We don't quite get that because we got into World War I towards the end. So it's not quite the thing that it is to Britain. But over in Britain, they lost something like 1 million guys. I mean, and they're not that big. The population of Britain right now, I think, is like 60 million. And back then it was like maybe 30 million. So that meant if 1 million guys died, and that's just how many died. Then there was like a whole bunch that got wounded or gassed or amputated or whatever. There was something like 1 out of every 30 people was killed. Right? That's a lot of people, you know, that's a huge amount of people. And so they really paid a price. Yeah, it really hit them. And so anyway, my daughter-in-law, her family grew up there. And so her great-grandfather, I think it was great-grandfather, I think it was, or was it a grandfather? Might have been her great-grandfather. He actually fought in World War I. He came back and he was pretty devastated. He kind of came back. And so what happened is, kind of a long story short, he wound up actually hearing these street preachers or something. And the thing is, they had this they had this singing quartet. And so what happened is he heard them singing and kind of like, he loved music. So he listened to it and says, wow, you guys sound great. And he listened to them. Well, he becomes this really strong Christian, you know, which was unheard of in their family prior to that. So anyway, my daughter-in-law, she actually grew up in this family, and her dad actually wound up running this for real mission up in Scotland, where they worked with people who were like, you know, people that were strung up on drugs and you know, people who were like cocaine addicts and crackheads and alcoholics and all this kind of stuff. People who just would fight and just couldn't get their lives together, and they lived up there. And so this is where she came from. So she came from Britain. And so anyway, one of the things so I'm going someplace with this. So talking about tea. So I was over at their house, and my son is married to her, and she's just everything charming. She's just a delight. But anyway, she grew up and she went all over the world doing missions work like refugees in Syria, and missions work in Kuwait, and missions work all over the place. So she did, not Kuwait, that's wrong, but definitely in Syria and also in Jordan. She actually did missions work in those places and a few other really, really poor places in the world. So she's seen a lot. So one of the things that she got used to is her family would actually say, well there, love, could you make us a spot of tea? You know, and she'd go out and make the tea. You know, she had to do this. So she is a master at making tea. So here's the thing. When it came down for us to find out what kind of tea are we supposed to be having, we're Americans, we drink coffee. We said, what kind of tea do you like? And you know what she said? Who knows the answer? Who would know the answer to this?
Earl Grey.
Well, Earl Grey is one of the varieties, that's true.
English breakfast.
English breakfast is good, that's true. Okay, keep going.
Green tea.
Green tea, okay, green tea is good. All right, I'm going to tell you the brand name. The brand name is called PG Tips. PG Tips. It's actually the most popular tea, and it's a black tea. It's a standard black tea, like, you know, your regular black. What do they call it? Your standard black tea. What do they call it? Just India black tea, I think it is. Anyway, so just standard black tea, but the bag is like shaped like a pyramid. All right, it's like a little bag in a pyramid because it allows better flow. So you drop it in the cup, and then you pour really hot steaming water. We got a hot kettle we actually use, a hot pot. You kind of hit the thing, and within like 2 minutes, you got boiling hot water. It's pretty cool. And then you pour that on, and it just gives you a bouquet that's amazing. So I think it's PG Tips or PB Tips. I'll get you the real one, but it's Tips. And the reason why it's Tips is because they actually use the tips of the leaves because it's actually more aromatic and it's tastier. So that's what it is. So now you learned something. So that's what they use over in Britain. They actually use the PG Tips. They got that right there. Kind of a crazy story, but she knows how to make a mean cup of tea. And so does my son right now. My wife is, you know, trying to get better because they're moving out here. They're moving out here this week from Kansas City. So that's kind of cool. I spent way too much time on that. I'm sorry. So we're going to move on through here. So anyway, I'm drinking tea. You're drinking tea. We're all here. We're all hanging out. And so what we got is this foundation plan. And the foundation plan here has a few things in here that are important. Let me point them out. One of the things you're going to see right here is you have different items on here. You got dimensions, and then you got these right out here. You got these blue lines right out here, which would be the concrete walls. That's what they are. So these are concrete walls. And then you have this dashed red line around the perimeter. Anyone want to hazard a guess as far as what that might be?
Liner.
Okay, actually, a liner would be included in that. That you're actually right about that. But when you got a dashed line around a wall right there, think about it. Think about what a wall sits on.
Foundation,
A foundation, or another word for these would be a footing. Okay, so these are footing. So the footing actually provides a basis for the wall to sit on. Okay, that's what you got right there. So it's a foundation slash footing. Okay, so yes, that's correct. And so what I've got here is this is actually like a walkout basement that's underneath the structure that we had. Okay, so we've got that right there. So you've got some stairs right here that would allow you to go down. Remember, there were stairs on our original floor plan. We got the rest of it. So this is what it looks like right here. So true to form, what I've done for you guys is I have gone ahead and I went ahead and I gave you guys out here. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. And I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna go to my foundation plan, which is right here. And what I've got right here is a template. So I'm gonna click on here, I'm gonna download the foundation plan template. So I got this foundation plan template that's right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start a new drawing with that. So this is what this looks like. This is the finished drawing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start a new drawing with the template. So I click on here, new. And when I click on new, I then have the ability to choose a template. Now the template's not here because I just downloaded it. So I'm going to go out to here, going to go out to where my downloads are, which is right here. So I go to downloads. And when I go to downloads, come on, look that up. It's right here. I've got, where's my foundation plan? Okay, there it is right there. Foundation plan Southfield Master 2020 Final, which tells you I went through a few iterations of this. But anyway, that's your foundation plan template. So I go into here and here's my template. I'm now in here. Now notice that right up here, you're going to see a couple things, and that's you've got your layers. Okay, I got my layers right here. And I've got beams, I've got columns, I've got depth points, dimensions, and so forth. So all these are different values that are available right now. Okay, in addition to that, I got a couple other things. I've got under here under annotation, I have some current styles, and these look like they're all standard right now. Standard. Let's see if I change any of these. Okay, I don't know if I did or not. We'll find out when we get into this. I don't think I did anything that's different. I think this is okay. I'll go one more down, and I want to look at my leaders. Okay, I've got smaller. So I got a few different leaders out here. Okay, so we're good to go. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to begin to draw this. So I got to don my glasses. I'm going to start this right now. So as I've got this, I started this with the template. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing the perimeter. So take a look at this right now. Now, what is my perimeter right now? Now, I'm going to give you the answer here, because down here it's 42 feet wide. Down here at the bottom, you see that's 42 feet. And over here it's 34. And then the other dimensions are like we used before, which is 14 feet right here. And then this goes back 3 feet. We actually that's 6 feet. I'm sorry, 6 feet. And then this goes out to here and then around. So that is all done with this blue layer. So what's that blue layer? Well, it's called walls. So I'm going to start with my walls layer. I'm going to start to draw this. Okay, so let's start this. So over here, I'm going to use, now I've got walls right here. I made it cyan because what I want you to do is I want you to be able to see it. So I'm going to start with my, my line command. I won't use a polyline right now, but I'm going to go here. I'll start at the top. And I'll go over here. I'm going to type in 42 feet. So 42 feet, boom. And then I'm going to go down here, and that's going to be 34 feet. So 34 feet, boom. And you don't have to say boom. That's you know, that's just something I do. So you don't have to say that. It'll work if you don't say boom. Then you go 14 feet, and then you go back this way, and you go 6 feet, and then we go over this direction. Now, how far over do we go? Well, over here, I'm going to go here, and now right here, I want it to go to the end of this one. Okay, if I don't want to do the math, I can just touch this right here and pull it back. And that gives me the tracking vector. That's object snap tracking. Then I click, and then I close it. And when I close it right there, that's what I've got. That's what it looks like. Let's find out if I'm right or not. So I'll throw some dimensions on there. Now here I'm going to put on dimensions, and I'm going to go ahead and start by putting in a linear dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my enter key and click and see how I'm doing here. And right there, that's 28 feet right there, which is accurate. And over on this side, I'm going to click here, and that one is 34 feet. That's accurate. And this top one, if I got that correct, should be 42 feet. So I click there, and it is. So we're good to go. And these other dimensions are right here. I'm going to go ahead and do this, hit my enter key. By the way, I'm right-clicking or hitting my enter key at the first prompt instead of picking 2 points. That is another acceptable method for doing that. So we're good to go there, and that's all established. So I have that. So we're good to go there. Now that I've done that, one of the things I want to point out is on this particular point right here, I did not create this floor plan, so I can't necessarily apologize for it, but I didn't change it, which I could have done. So I left something in here. It's a little bit difficult. Okay, I did it on purpose, so you guys get some practice. Now, notice this right here. I drew the outside. You can see right here that I've got a wall thickness right here of 10 inches. So this wall over here to the left is 10 inches. Over here to the right, it's 10 inches. However, here I made it 12 inches, okay? I did it just to throw a little monkey wrench there. So it's 12 inches, 12 inches, and 12 inches, and then 10 and 10 on the back. And then over here, what I've actually got a couple widths. So we'll deal with that in a second. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna offset the walls. Remember the offset command. So we're gonna offset, and my first distance was 10 for 10 inches. So I go here, I click on this, I'm gonna take this and go over there, and go over here from here to here. Boom, boom. Okay, now we said that this one was gonna be 12 inches. So I'm gonna offset again, and I'm gonna change it to 12. And then I'm gonna go from here, here, up, and then over here, and then over, and over here, and then up again. And then after that, I'm gonna type in F for fillet. This is a cool way to clean up my corners. When I use fillet without any radius, I can go to here and here, and it goes ahead and it heals those corners. All right, so I'm gonna repeat fillet. I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna use multiple, so I can do many at a time. I'm gonna go from here to here. Click here, come on. Here and here. And then go here to here. And this is just a fast way to get stuff going here, like this. And then I can do the same thing here. This is just a fast way. This is using fillet without any radius. Without any radius, it's just gonna make the corner a right angle like that. Now, once I've got that, this is all I have left. Now, to get this last wall, let me show what's going on here. So over here, by the way, does this little red highlight help?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go to here. Now this wall thickness, the overall wall thickness here is actually going to be 8 inches, and then it's going to be 5 inches. So I'm going to offset it 5 inches, then another 3. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to offset this outside wall 5 inches. Then I'm going to offset it again 8 inches to get me that wall right there. So I'm going to go over to here and do that. So I'm going to offset 5 inches, which is here to here. I'm going to offset one more time. I'm going to make it, click on this object, and I'm going to go ahead and type in 8 this time. It's another way you can do that. So once I've done that, I then have done this, and I've established my corners, and then I could go ahead and fillet that like that, and do the same thing over here. Fillet this here to here, and then let me see where those lines run. Okay, the lines run all the way down. I'm not sure. Let me take a look. So in the corners, they run, actually this line runs and intersects them. So that's how we want that to work. So I'm going to extend this here and then here like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this, which I will do. How do I do shift select trim? Shift, and I'll trim that, because you can do this in the same command, which is kind of a cool thing. So I'm going to first of all extend this, extend that. That'll hold my shift key down, and I can trim this out. Kind of a little cool trick that you can do with the trim and extend commands. So now I've got that. Now that I've got a good foundation, I'm going to save it as a particular drawing. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and it's going to be foundation. Okay, try this again. Foundation, dash Southfield, dash Brennan. And since this is my second version of this right here, I'm going to call it 2. And we'll go ahead and do that. So now I've got this. I got a good foundation. So I'm off to the races. Now going back to here, I've got that. Now, the other thing I've got right here is I've got a 6-foot window that we got right here, and I got other things here. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do something a little bit different right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to offset and get my this distance right here. Now this right here, this is my footing right here. The footing right here is a red layer, and it's a dashed line type. If I take a look at my layer properties, you'll see that my dashed line type, it's right here, it's called hidden, the hidden line type. And typically a hidden line type is exactly that, it's hidden from view. So in this particular case, I'm going to use hidden to go ahead and draw the others. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change my current layer to hidden, which is, where is it? I don't see it. It looks like I don't have one. Okay, let's try that again. I might have to make it. All right, that's okay. Oh, footing. I'm sorry, it's footing. I was making a mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and make footing my current layer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset the walls. And as I talked about before, there's definitely an offset. And let's take a look at what it is. So the offset for this wall is 18 inches. Okay, so we got 10 inches. So if 10 inches is the center wall and the total thickness is 18 inches, how far would I need to draw my lines outside of there on each side? How far on each side would I need to put those?
4 inches.
4 inches on each side, exactly. So I can go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to show you a cool little trick here. So as I do this right now, I'm going to use my offset. I'm going to choose 4 inches. And what I'm going to do right here is, let me do one more thing. I'm going to go to right here and choose my layer. And my layer, I can actually use current right here, okay? Current, what this allows me to do is use an existing layer, use an existing piece of a line. And then what I can do is I can tell it I want it to offset onto the current layer so it doesn't make a copy as it was, but I can actually have it update to the present. It's a shortcut. This way I don't have to go back and edit it. So I'm going to say current. Now I'm going to say 4 inches and watch this. I'm going to click here and I'm going to click on distance is 4 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Watch how this works. Click here, boom, look at that. Ain't that beautiful? All right, so that's how we do this. And then over on this side, this is also the same way. So I'm just doing this just because it's a quick way to do it. And I went ahead and did that. So now that I've got that in place, what else do I have? Down here, this is actually 20 inches. So 12 inches, it's the same thing, 4 inches to each side. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing here. So I'll click here, click here, and go, okay, gotta start offset again. So offset, I should be good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and click here. And that goes here and here. We are good to go. There we go. And now we are doing the same thing we did before. Do here to here, and there to there, and there to there, and there to there, like that. Okay, and then we know about the fillet command. Okay, fillet command, boom, boom. And then we go ahead and use fillet again, and right click and use multiple, just to clean it up nicely. And we go from here to here, and we go from here to here, and all the way around, okay? Like that. So we have that going on, and this is how we just adjust these kind of quickly. There's always shortcuts around, you know. I'm going to try to show you guys some things that'll get you completed with this kind of quickly. That's what I'm going to try to do here. So that's what we have going on there. Now this one back here, I don't know what this one is off the top of my head. I'm going to take a look at it. So back over to here, this one is the top one it's 20 inches and it's 8 inches. So therefore, since it's 8 inches, that means it's got to be 6 inches offset on either side. So it's got to be 6 inches offset. So go back to here and I will do exactly that. So I'm going to start my offset command, change the distance to 6. Then I'll go ahead and go to here, down, and here, and up. And then I'll go ahead and use my fillet command one more time, right click and use multiple. And as I do this, it's giving me a very good foundation and a very good demonstration for you guys as far as how this works. All right, so that's how we go ahead and do that. And that's something you probably could have figured out on your own. Other than that, there's some other dimensions in place here that I want to go ahead and take care of. One of them is the dimensions that actually would cover wall to wall and so forth. I just go from midpoint to midpoint here, like that. And then I got 10 inches. I can go ahead and drop it there. And then I can go from this point here to this point here. And like that. Okay, try that again. Over here. Guess we'll go from here to here. Okay, we'll go like that, 1'6" and 1'6". Okay, one thing I've got to do right now, and I'll show you how to fix this right now, because that one, that's a little problematic. And to fix this right now, what I'm going to do right now is for that, I think I've got a style that I can actually use to actually fix that. It says 1'6". I actually want it to be something else. I want it to say 18 inches actually. So I'll pull this over here like this, and I'll pull this text over here like this. Now I want it to say 18 inches. So how do I do that? There's a few different ways I do this. I can go ahead and click on this right here, and then I can right click and I could go to the properties right here. I could do something else. But if I go to properties right now, I could do this. And what I'm going to do is to make this actually work the way I want it to, I can change what is known down here as the, for my primary units, which is right down here, it says architectural. Well, that's just giving me the 1'6". Okay, so I've got that. And what I want to do right now is instead of doing that, I'm going to call this fractional. And notice what happens when I choose fractional. It gives me 18 right there, but it doesn't give me the inches. So what I want to do over here is I want to give it a suffix, a dimension suffix. And the suffix would be inches. So I'll put in a single quote right here and do that. When I do that, that is how I'd override that, okay? And that is what I'm going to do for these in this particular one. It's, again, it's a great little exercise to show how to do that. Now, how did I do that again? I click on the object and then I right click and I go to properties, which is right down here. Properties allow you to do any kind of changes that you want. And it pops this open. And what I did is I went down here, I went to the primary units. The primary units are actually what are going to display how the measurements appear. In this particular case, I changed it to fractional, like you see right here. Change that to fractional. And then I use a suffix. A suffix means some kind of something that comes after. So in this case, it's the single quote afterward, double quote rather, and that gives you inches. So you got that in place. Very good. Okay, so I've got that there. Then other than that, I'd want to do the same thing for these right here. And so for these, I've got the same kind of a thing here to here. And this one would go up here. And you see I've got the same issue right here. That one says 1 foot and 0 inches. So let me see if I can't do this. Let me see if I can't match the properties here. I'm going to match properties from this. And I'm going to touch them onto this. Look what happens when I do that. I'm able to match the properties. So let me show that again. Match properties is right here. I click on match properties. I tell it what I want to use, which is this. So I click on this and I put it over here and watch what happens. Beautiful, huh? Makes life really easy. So there's a lot of really cool shortcuts in AutoCAD. I almost said Revit because I've been teaching Revit all day. But you got that right there. I'm going to click on this and pull this up. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this up like this. And then you know the routine. I can go ahead and do this and pull this over. And I go ahead and match my properties, which is right here. Match properties from here over to here. Boom, you got that. And that's how we begin to place these in here. That makes life easier. And that's how we go ahead and go all the way around. Yeah, question?
So can't we just double click on the text and then just retype it?
Well, you can. You actually can. Okay, but here's the danger of that. Because when you type over the top of it, you're actually overriding the dimension, which means you're making a dimension that could potentially be lying.
Okay.
Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean by that. Because I had students, you know, back when I was teaching the BOCES, I taught BOCES at Glenfield, the Glenfield, Lewis County, Jefferson County BOCES. I actually taught there for a year. And my students came in first place in the state in automated manufacturing technology. It's pretty cool. So we went ahead and did that. But they did that to me. Like they went ahead and did this. And let's say it was wrong here. Let's say this is supposed to be 15 feet. So what they did is they went in and say, Mr. Brennan will never know. And they did this. And they typed in 15 feet. Okay. Now, looks right. Is it right though?
No.
No. Okay. So you can do that. But what happened is you just made your drawing a lie and you've totally undermined the integrity of what it's trying to say. So therefore, you could do this though. I will show what you could do. Now, when you do this, if I double click out of there and just leave it, the dimension comes back, okay? And anytime you double click on this, you see that in purple, that's your dimension. Now, what you could do is you actually could put something in front of it and say approximately. You could do that, and then you do that. So you can put that in there, or you could double click on this, and you could, I think there's a plus minus. What's the plus minus? There's actually a plus minus thing.
Alt 01277, I believe.
Okay, we'll try that. Plus 01277. Let's see that. Okay.
Alt 0.
Actually, let me show you something here, because there's actually a way to do this. There's actually a way to do this that's very interesting. Okay, let me see. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. The plus or minus is something that is actually very important as we go through here, because what I could do is I could actually put this in here. So put this in here right now. There's actually a listing of things. So I'm going to go to F1. And when I go to F1, which is actually over here, I'm going to drag this over. You guys can't see my AutoCAD. Can you guys see AutoCAD help right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to type in, let's see here. Can I click inside there? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to say plus, minus, symbol. Yeah, plus minus symbol. Ah, there you go. Ha ha. percent P draws plus minus, percent P. I've been using AutoCAD for 31 years. That's why I know this kind of minutia. Okay, percent P is actually the code. It's the AutoCAD code. So I'll go ahead and I'll get rid of this and I'll say percent P. Now watch what happens here. All right, percent P. There it is, plus minus. So you can do that kind of a thing. You can do that kind of a thing. It's totally legit. But you typically don't want to override it. I guess what you could do is if you just had it fractional right here, you could just type it in there. So in that sense, I could actually see that point. Like if I just did this, if I did this and made it fractional, first of all. So if I went here and if I went to, get out of here, go to here and go to properties. If I were to go to here, the first thing I'd have to do is change the primary units over here to, yeah, because I don't think I can get rid of that inches because the inches is going to be, that's going to be sticky. Okay, so that's going to stick there. Can I get rid of that? No, it gets rid of the whole dimension, so I really can't do it that way. I see where you're going with that, but it's not the approved method. You can put another notation, but typically you're going to want to go ahead and not override it like that. Okay, just so that it's not in the place where it's lying. You don't want that. Okay, but that's how you do that. Okay, so that's 14 feet. And then what
Okay, quick question before you move on.
Yeah.
So when you were going over how to change it to inches on the properties, I was struggling trying to like keep up just a little bit, and I had kind of like missed what you had said. So I right click when I right click on the blue square, I go to properties, and then where is it where I switch it to inches?
All right, let me show it to you. Let me show it to you. Okay, I'm going to do another one right here. So I'll do the whole thing again. I'll go a little bit slower. So I'm going to go here, and I need to put another one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick this point here and this point here. Okay, and that's 1 foot. So I'll leave that there. So you click on it, okay, and then you right click. And then properties right here. Okay, see that?
Yeah.
Now what you would do is here, you would scroll down in here to primary units. Primary units, and right down here for dim units. Presently, you see it says architectural.
Yeah.
I changed that to fractional.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, now that just says 12. Now, 12 what? That's where you got to go to your dim suffix, and you got to put in your double quote right there for inches. You see that?
Yeah, it's just a little like half on mine, so I just have to hover over. Okay, so I found it.
Okay.
Okay, so what did you put? You put inches?
I put in a single quote for inches. Yeah. For
Okay.
your suffix. That makes sense?
Yeah, so the single quote would be the, okay, yeah, I
I'm
understand.
sorry, it's actually the double quote. I usually say single quote. It's a double quote.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I got it now. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, for those of you that are new to feet and inches and so forth, single quote is feet, double quote is inches. Okay, single quote is
Right.
feet, double. Okay, that's how it is. So that's why down here this says 14 feet and 0 inches, and that's 12 inches. So if you're not familiar with that, that's something that you want to have there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop another one here, and that doesn't sound good. I'm going to go to mesh properties. I'm going to drop a dimension. All right, there we go. And so I'll go here, and I'm going to go ahead and click there and pull that over, 20 inches like that. And the rest of those, you guys get the idea. Okay, now up here, this one's a little trickier. And what I got to do with these right here is this one's actually giving me 3 different lengths. 5 inches, because that's the actual wall that is going to be in question. That's actually going to be like the walkout wall, 5 inches thickness. And then you got 8 inches. That's actually a small, that's the actual basement wall. And then you have on top of that 20 inches, which is the footing. Okay, so that's what we do for that one. So for that one, it's a little bit different, but you know, again, not too hard. So we'll go ahead and put that in place. So I'll do the same thing, linear, and I'll go from here to here, there to there, I'll go to there, and I got 5 inches. And then I go from here to here, if I can, and okay, so it doesn't look that. So I'll do that again. And one of the things about this is I'm kind of going along here. It keeps on finding these, which is fine. So I'll just go from here and then here. I want to go to this one this time. I'm going to pull that one over to 8 inches. So you got that one. So you got 5 inches, you got 8 inches, and the last one is going to be here to here, like that. And when you got that, you got that. Okay, do that one more time. And there's a few ways to do this. I'm trying to keep this. Okay, I get it like that. Okay, so I got that, and then I'll pull that over to the side just so that it's clear, and we pull that over like this. And then I grab the text, And that would actually go above. These are all above on the plan I have there. And so each one of these, I can click on these and pull these into position so that they look more like this. And then I can do the same with this one, take this one, pull this one up. And I'm just doing grip editing right now by grabbing them, and I can actually locate them like this. Now, once I've got that, I just use my match properties. Once you do one of them, you just use the match properties to update the others. Makes life a lot easier. Okay, so then you got that. 20 inches. A question?
Yeah, I got a quick question, Professor.
Yeah.
So when I go to dimensions and I hit dimensions and everything, and I don't know why this is doing it just on this one, but I'll hover over like the part that I want to have dimensions, and it literally will pick up a suggested dimension
Yeah.
from left and right. And it's kind of annoying. I mean, I still get what I'm trying to get, but sometimes it will pick up the suggested instead of the one that I'm trying to click on.
I know totally what you're saying here. So for this
Okay.
one, let me show you a little workaround of that, okay? Because this, if you notice, I was running the same thing too. So what you would do right here is you go to your dimension. I'll show you linear. I'll go to here. Now I don't want this one. That's the midpoint. I want it somewhere over here. So to do this, I could right click actually with this dim linear, I would shift and right click. Shift right click is what brings up what's called your shortcut menu. You hold your shift key down and you right click your mouse.
Okay.
Now over here, I can just grab nearest. This is really helpful. So I can just go down here, pick any point I want, and then I can go right across. That's what you want. Okay, now that's an object snap. You could turn it on so it's on all the time. It's best not to do that though, because it's kind of dangerous, because then you could actually be close but not really be at an endpoint or midpoint. So you don't typically want to do that. So this is one, again, shift right mouse click. Hey kids, it's shift right mouse click. And then when you do that, you go to nearest, and then you would go ahead and do this one. I get any point I want. This is actually a highly unsung object snap I use all the time. It's extremely valuable. And then once you got that in place, you just use your match properties on it. Did that help there, Lisa?
Yeah, it does. So I have to do that every time to do a dimension.
Well, in this instance, yes, you would. The other way you could do it, okay, but you just got to remember to turn it off. Is you go down here to your object snap settings and just turn on, and just go ahead and turn on nearest for right now. You could do that, and then this would be, and then when you're doing dimensions, you would do that, and then turn it off when you're done. That would
Okay.
now that I have that going, I can do it with cool and plumb. You know, you go from here to here and you go like that. Follow me if that's what you want to do. Yeah, totally, all day long. You're good to go.
Yeah, because usually with the other ones that we did, it was just way easy to just go from one point to the other. But now this is like picking up suggested ones, and it's kind of like throwing everything off.
Right.
That's why I was like a little behind in the beginning of the video, because it kept like picking up different dimensions and giving me that, and I'm just like,
Yep.
no, I don't need that.
No, I totally understand what you're saying here. And the thing is, that's why you'd want to do it that way. So as far as that goes, you would go to nearest, and so I'd go from here down to here, and then I'd have, now that's saying half. Why is it saying half an inch? Okay, the reason why, it doesn't know what I want to do right here. That's why. So it doesn't always work. So let me turn that off right there. This is where it gets a little bit confusing, but I shouldn't say confusing, but it doesn't always give you what you want, okay? Which is kind of true with something. So I'll go to here, and I'll go ahead, and you can also touch it here and then pull your cursor along like I'm doing right now. That's another way to do it. You can have your cursor, and I'll see it picked it up right here. That's the other way to do it. Now, let me show you that again real quickly. This is something that is interesting. So in this case, I go to my dim linear, I touch it here, and it's giving me this annoying thing. So rather than click there, I just pull it along the line. You see I'm tracking right here? Then I click where I want it to be and go to there. And that gets me around having to use the nearest. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that made sense.
Okay, that is another workaround. And this is all stuff that, to be honest, I've been doing this for so long. Sometimes I do this stuff, I don't even think about it. So I don't even think, how do I explain this? I do it without even thinking. So anyway, I apologize if I do that sometimes. My wife tells me I do that a lot. I try not to, but that's unfortunately kind of how that works. So that's how you would do that. When you're working and when you put a dimension in, you are not constrained to this right here. You just pull it to where you want it to be and then click where you want it to go. That's one of the advantages of AutoCAD, is just knowing how these things work. You're not forced to actually pick that point. Okay, does that make sense now?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so you've got that. So now we've got these things all dimensioned around the exterior. Now we can kind of like talk about the interior. So what's going on here? Well, there's a few things. There's the windows. You guys know how to put windows in. I don't know that I need to tell you how to do that, but you know how to put windows in, and there's no doors here. So how do I begin to space this stuff? Well, now this is where this gets interesting. So right here, I've got a 6" by 6" square, and it's actually located right where this is. Now, where is this line located? Where is that? How do I space that? Well, there's little clues throughout this as far as how to put these in here. The first clue that I have here, if I can find it, okay, this one, actually, where does that one come off here? That one comes off. All right, let's see. All right, let's see if I can get a good starting point right here. Yeah, and it's that kind of thing I was trying to do. I didn't give you more dimensions than you needed. So there we go. And so anyway, what we got right here. All right, this one is 13 feet, 6.5 inches, but that's not to the beam line. It's actually out to this right here. So what is that? Well, that's a 6" by 6" thickness right there. So what's half of 6? 3. So this is 13 feet, 9.5 to get the beam. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. So 13 feet, 9.5 from this outside to get to that beam line. So 13 feet, 9.5. So I go back to here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my beam. So I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to start to draw a line. I'm going to start it right from here, and I'm just going to get it started from this point right here. I'm going to go down this location right here, 13 feet, 9.5. There we go. And that's where that line is, and that's where that beam would go. That's where that beam line would go. And I just pull right up here, and I can do that. And then I've got that. So I've got that established. You want to establish that. So this one goes all the way down. So just take it and run that down. So once I've got that in place, I can go ahead and click on this. And like I said, just take it and pull it all the way down, which I'll do. So click here and pull it down like that. And then I can get rid of this line. Okay, so now I got that. So that's my first beam line. That is there, and let's measure it and make sure it's right. You always want to make sure they're right. And anytime you're working with anything in AutoCAD, you always, now watch this. I'm going to touch this. I'm going to pull it up. See that? So that's what we were talking about. This should be, now that's 13 feet, 9.5 to that, which is exactly what I said it should be. So we're perfectly good there. Okay, so now that we're done that, I'm going to save this. We're still doing well. It's 7 o'clock. You guys hold up okay? You want to take a little break?
Up to you.
I'm all good.
You guys okay? All right. All right, we'll keep on going and we'll keep on going along here. Okay, so I've got that right there. So I went ahead and put that one in there. Now, how about this other line? How do I get that? Well, at this point, where is that one located? Well, that one would be located, let's see here. What would be the best way to place that? Let me make sure I've got this. So I want to go ahead and place this one right here. Where is that dimension? I'm trying to find, I think I missed putting one in here. I should have put one more in here to make life easier on you. But there is, there's more than one way to skin the cat here. Yeah, I can do it this way. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it here. Let's see here, because as I do it that way, okay, that's there. All right, and I think I might be missing a dimension. Maybe not. No, I can get there from here. So I'm just going to start to build with what I got. So this one right here, I'm going to start by drawing my first column right here, and it's 6 foot 6 inches right up here. So 6 foot 6 inches at its center right here, and it's 6 by 6. So 6 foot 6 inches from here, and that's how we have that. So I'll start with that. So I'm going to go here, and I wonder if I have here. I don't think I have one. I'm going to type in I. Come on, you. I and hit enter. Okay. Ooh, gosh. All right. No. Okay. All right. We're still good. We're still good. For some reason, it was kind of acting up. I'm going to change this real quickly because it looks like I may lose everything. I don't want to lose anything. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go ahead and put this back to just my regular mouse. So hopefully that doesn't do that. So I'm going to go up to Insert and see if I've got my blocks in here. What kind of blocks do I have? Let's see here. Sliding door and window are all I've got. Okay, so I don't even have that, so don't even worry about it. So what I said here is I was going to go ahead and I was going to put in this column. So to do this, I'm going to make a polyline for this. So I'm going to start it from here. Okay, I'm going to go from this point right here. I said I was going to go up 6 foot 6. So I'm going to do that. So 6 foot 6, boom. And then over here is where I'd want it to be. So I'm going to start right there. So that's my location right there. So from there, what I want to do is that, what I'm going to do right now is going to draw a 6 by 6 rectangle, just to kind of give myself some years. So go with this. Come on, don't die. Okay, 6, comma 6. And that's a rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this, and that's where my center point's going to be right there. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go from the center like this, like that. I'm going to take it and drop it right there. Boom. And that should be about right. So I'm going to measure it, and that should actually be as the other one was, which should be 6 foot 6 inches to that center. Let's find out if I got it. And if you hear my dog barking, she's excited. I think there's a deer in my backyard. That happens. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure that from here to here and to there. Let's see, we got there 6 foot 6. So we're good to go there. All right. So I've got that, and I've got that in place right there. So that's exactly where that should go. So the way I'm building it right there is because I gave you a paucity of dimensions right here. So once I've got that 6 foot 6, these right here, the footings, are actually all 24 inches by 24 inches. That's my footings. So I can do the same thing, and I can put my footings in. So over here, I'm going to put in a 24 by 24 inch footing. Now, how do I do that? I would go over here, and I would go to my footing layer, and I'd make a rectangle. Make a rectangle here, 24 by 24. So I'll do that. 24, comma 24, boom. Okay. And then what I do is I'd move it, and I would basically move it, click there, you're going to move this, and I'm going to go ahead and touch it here, and touch it here, and go like that. And go ahead and move that right to its center right there, to its center right there, which is here and here, like there. And that's how I got that first thing right there. So that is how I begin to build this. So anytime you're working with any of these drawings, you always want to build them with what you have right there. So now I've got this first one. So that one's in place right there. So that's good. Now the next thing you want to do is the next one is 5 feet off of this one. So it's 5 feet off, and then it's actually going to be 6 feet long. 5 feet, 6 feet, 24 inches wide. So I'm going to draw that one. So I go to line. So I go 5 feet. And then 6 feet. And then 24 inches back this way. And then 6 feet back this way. And then I go ahead and close that. Okay, and that's what I have right there. Okay, that's what I have there. Okay, and then that is how I'd actually place that one. Now that one right there, if I have to check my dimensions right there, that one is 6 feet. And that's actually a 13 foot 6.5 dimension. We talked about that. So it's 3 inches offset to either side. And that is how I could actually make that work. So it'd actually be 6 inches by 5 feet, I guess. So 5 by 6 is what I could make there. So I'm going to go ahead and make that one. And I'm just making rectangles. And just because I think that's how that will work. 6 inches by 5 feet. Right. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do a rectangle. I'm going to click here. 6, comma 60, like that. Boom. All right, and then I got that. I'm going to move it right over to here. And I'm going to go ahead and move it. Okay, I'll just go ahead and move from this location right here. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to touch it here, and I'm going to slide it up. Okay, and I'll go ahead and start it here, and then I'll go up. Okay, I'm going to start it there. Then I'm going to move it up 6 inches. So I'll go here, and I'll go ahead and touch it here and go up 6. Okay, okay. Now at this point, we're looking pretty good here. I'm going to put another dimension on here just to make sure we are building it the right way. And I'm going to go to linear, and I'm going to go from the outside. Okay, now again, I'm going to touch it here like we talked about before, pull it up, and I'm going to touch it here, and then go ahead and go where I want to. And this will be 13 feet 6.5. There we go. That's what you actually have in the drawing. So now it's starting to work. It's starting to make sense. And now we have a little bit of a foundation here. Now let's see. Now that I have that right there, then at that point, what do I want to do there? Okay, now this right here, let's see here. I gotta have a dimension from this right here. And then this one right here is, let's see, I think I might be missing a dimension here. I think I might be, because I'm trying to figure this out and I'm not getting it. Maybe there's a way to do this that I'm just not seeing it. Okay, this is 5 foot 4.5. Ah, there it is. Okay, right here. I can use this one right here. See this 5 foot 4.5 dimension right there? So what I have to do is I have to add the 5 foot 4.5 dimension to the 10 foot 7.5 dimension. So that would be 11 feet and let's see here, that would be 10 foot 7. Yeah, 11 feet and 1/2 inch, 11 feet and 1/2 inch to give me that point right there. That's that point, 11 feet and 1/2 inch. So it is indicated. So 11 feet and 1/2 inch, and that actually comes off this outside wall, 11 feet and 1/2 inch. So I'll do that. I'll draw a line, 11 feet and 1/2 inches over. Okay, and I keep on saying it so I don't forget. 11 feet and 1/2 inches using my beams. Okay, so I'll go ahead and use a line, 11 feet and 1/2 inches. So I'll go here, over, and 11 feet and 1/2 inches. 11 feet. Okay, didn't do that right. 11 feet, 0.5 inches. (11 feet dash 0.5 inches). Okay, that's what that is. Okay, so that's that line right there. So that should be correct. Let me make sure that it is. Okay, go over here. 11 feet and 1/2 inches. So, no, I'm sorry. 15 feet, 11.5 inches. I'm sorry, 15 feet, 11.5. Okay, so I did that wrong. 15 feet, 11.5. I added wrong. All right, so the line, and I'll go 15 feet, 11.5, going from 15 feet, 11.5, going from the outside wall. There we go, 15 feet, 11.5. Okay, so sorry about that. And we'll get this right this time. So click there, 15 feet, 11.5. So 15 feet, 11.5, boom. That's the ticket right there. At least it should be. So let's see how we're doing there. I think we should be getting pretty darn close at this point, 15 feet, 11.5. So I've got that, 15 feet, 11.5, right up there, looks about right. And then I would go over this distance right here. That's going to be 7.5 inches over from the outside of there, 7.5 inches over to get the that would be 7 feet 2.5, 7 feet 2.5 from the long. Okay, 7 feet 2.5. So over to here. All right, so 7 feet 2.5 from this. So I'll go line from here. Seven feet 2.5, boom, like that. Okay, so I've got that right there. So now that I have those, let's verify that I've got what I need. 7 feet 2.5, that's coming from there. And that's where that actually comes out. So that's where this line is, and where they intersect would be the point. Okay, so let's see here how we get that. All right. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so at their intersection point, that is where I would place another, my columns. Okay, I'm going to place them right there at the intersection. Okay, and as we do this right now, you're seeing that you can actually copy these things around. And so I'm just going to grab it from left to right. So I only grab these elements. And my machine's starting to drag, so I hope it doesn't crash on me, but I'm going to keep on working here to try and get it here. So I go from the midpoint right here, over here. Okay, midpoint. Okay, I got it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and drop it right here at the intersection right there. Okay, so got that right there. So now we're looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to, yep, I've got that there. And I think we're good to go there. Okay, that actually needs to go to the end of that line there, doesn't it? Or does it? Yeah, it's gotta go up to the top. So move that. This all needs to move up. So I'll go grab this stuff. And it needs to go from this midpoint here to the end of that line right there. That's actually the line right there. Okay, very good. So now that I've got that in place, I'm going to dimension these. So that's 5 feet 4.5, and then that's there, and then it goes over that direction. Very good. And then it comes down whatever that distance is. What is that distance? Let's find out. Okay. All right. These, yeah, whatever this one coming down here is. Let's find out what that is. Okay. Yeah, I'm not so sure I've even got that. I don't think I even have that dimension. Okay, I'm going to add a dimension on here just to make life easier for you guys. I'm going to go here, And I'm going to go ahead and measure this dimension here. I'm going to go from here on down to the blue line right there. It's 11'4", just so you can place that. So I'll go ahead and leave that 11'4", and that's what that is right there. So just make a note of that. That's 11'4" right there. And as you're working with this, you'll have that in place. It'll make life a little easier for you. All right, so 11'4" is where that one is. So we'll go ahead and do that. 11'4" from the inside blue line. So we go from line, and I'll go 11'4" over here. All right, 11'4", boom. Okay, that's what that's supposed to be. And then we will go ahead and pull that all the way around like this. All right, that's what that dimension is. We are good to go. And I'll go ahead and pull this over to this location there. Okay, now that I've got that right there, I'm going to want to place these other elements in place right here. So I've got this. I got this one down here, and I'll go ahead and place another one there. And then we'll go ahead and go backwards through here. So we'll go ahead and put those in. So I'll place this one here. I'll copy this, and I'll go here. And this one's going to go at this other intersection here. And I'll go from there, and I'm going to go right down to here, boom, like that. And then I'm going to want to copy this over. This one's going to go over 6'9", and then another 6'9", and then 7'3". And then when I get that all done, I will have this laid out. So 6'9", 6'9". So copy. I'm going to grab this. All right. I'll just go ahead and from here. So 6'9", 6'9", 9, boom. And then we'll go over again. 6'9". Oh, went the wrong way. Okay, so I'll get rid of that second. Do that again. Okay, so copy. Do that again. Go over this way. 6'9", 6'9", boom. I'll copy that again to that location. 6'9", like that. And I'll do one more 7'3". And these, I do apologize for the pauses, although it's not my fault. 7'3", like that. Okay, so then I have those in position. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensions on these and make sure they are the way they're supposed to be. Okay, so as I go ahead and put these in, I'm just going to go ahead and dimension these so that we're clear about them. And dimensions are going to go from these different items from place to place. I'm going to go right from the center of this one right here. I'll go from here, center to center, 7'3". Okay, and then we'll do it again. I'll do another dimension. And this should be 6'9", and it is. And I'll do one more here. It should be 6'9" as well, and it is. Okay. So once we put all those together, that's how we go ahead and figure those out. Now that is a bit much, but it's the way it is. And so now we have that in place right there. And now I have.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah.
What is the dimension between those two vertical columns?
These two right here.
Yes.
I'll give that to you. Sure. Since you're asking, between these two, it's actually 1'7.5".
From center to center?
Not from center to center. From center to center, I'll give that to you. From center to center, let me get that to you. All right, we'll go from the center to center here to here. Okay, center to center, 3'7.5".
Okay, thank you.
Yep, that's 3'7.5". Okay, great. So now that we have those in place, I've got this one. This one is 5'10.5" off to get that one lined up. That's the last one. So I'll do that one, 5'10.5". So I'll go ahead and line. I'll go ahead from here, 5'10.5". 5'10", boom, and that's where this line is. And then I would go over, and this thing keeps on. Yeah, I do apologize that my speed is kind of crapping out here, but it is the way it is. So 5'10.5" is from the intersection. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll drop that in place. And once I have that, then those are all placed. So I've got that. So go ahead and go through here. And I want to go through the intersection right here to the 5'10.5", which is right there. Okay, and then the rest of these I don't need. I can get rid of these other lines just to clean it up so that we just want to make sure we get those where they want to be. So I'm going to save that because that took a little bit of work there. Okay, so now I've got that in place. The rest of it is actually pretty straightforward, okay? Because the rest of it's just like putting in stairs and so forth and putting in our windows and so forth, which is again, something I think you guys are pretty familiar with. So that is the basics right there. Then there's a few notations and so forth that we're gonna work on. We've got that. Okay, now your stairs right here, you're gonna notice that the stairs, they start at 5'4.5", and they actually start, let's see here, right here, 5'4.5". I've actually got right here the actual stairs are 3 feet wide, and they have a stringer, which are 2 inches on each side. They have a stringer on 2 inches each side. So I've got that, and this one just actually leans right up against here. So I've got that right there. So that's how far that goes. So that's the first thing we could go ahead and place in there. And those are actually 12-inch stringers right there. So I got 5'4.5" and then I can go right over to the to this right here. Okay, 5'4.5". So that's what I've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all draw a line for my stairs, okay, which I would actually use for stairs right here, which is kind of a light gray. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to start here and go ahead and pull this all the way down here, just so I've got a starting point. Now that I've got that, I'm going to start it and go 5'4.5" line, going from, I think it's coming from the back wall. It's coming from the outside wall, 5'4.5". That's right. Just about there, guys. And so I'm going to go line, and I'm going to go ahead and start here. I'm going to go 5'4.5" up from this wall, and I'm going to say 5'4.5" like that. Okay, now when I've got that, I'm going to pull this over, and this is my starting point right here. This is where I'm going to start, right here like that. Okay, now let me make sure that's correct. Should be right. Yeah, it does start right down there. Okay, then I can build the stairs from there. So that's the first point. So then it goes 2 inches over, and then 3 feet, and then 2 inches. So 3 feet, 2 inches, 3. Okay, so now I got this location. So I'm going to line, and I'm going to offset this line 2 inches, offset 2 inches, because that's my stringer. A stringer is the outside support. So go ahead and grab this. Just talk about that. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw my line from here on over. It's got to be 3 feet. So I'll type in 36, boom. Okay, great. And then I'll go all the way up to just that location right there. Then I'll offset this again, 2 inches again to get this stringer right here on this side. So I've got that. So that is how I'd actually build that. Okay, and when I've got that in place, it actually comes out here like this. And then each of these stringers is 12 inches. So I'm going to offset 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do 10 of these. And that's not necessarily accurate, but that's how we're going to do it. So I'm going to offset that 12 inches, and we'll go ahead and do that 10 times. So a total of 10. So go here. Okay. All right, let's see what we're doing there. And that should end, okay, 10 inches right around like that. Let me make sure I got this. Hope I did. All right. Doesn't look right. Let's see what I got. What do I got going on here? Okay, this is over here. Looks like I put my stairs. Okay, looks like this distance is wrong here. So let me fix that. 7 feet 2.5 inches. Okay, that should be 7 feet 2.5 inches from there. Yeah, it is. So let's see what's going on here. What's going on with that? All right, let me fix this here. Looks like we got an issue. Oh, okay, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3. What do I got? All right. Oh, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Yep. Okay, made a mistake here. All right, this is 7 foot 2.5 inches, and I think I missed that, so I just got to replace these over here. So that's probably 7 feet 2.5 inches, isn't it? I bet it is. Yeah, it's 7 feet 200. That's where it should have been. Okay, so I missed that. So I'm going to move this one and this one over like this. I'm going to grab this and this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move them over to the end here, which is where we want to go. Actually, all of that's going to move. And so that's what I'm going to do there. So I'm going to drop this here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop those as they need to. Okay, so then that's going to be, all right. Okay, so I made a mistake there. So get rid of that. And okay, I'll get rid of this one, get rid of these right here. Delete that. Actually, I might be able to do it this way. No, just forget that. Okay, so 6'9". All right, come on.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah,
So for the 7'3" it actually goes from the outside wall
yep.
to that first square. So I think that's probably where it threw it off.
Yeah, that's the problem right there. So I'm going to fix that right now. So you're right. That goes from the outside to 7'3". So I'll go ahead from here. All right, right from here. Come on, you. Okay, 7'3". 7'3". Boom. I'll mark it right there. And okay, I kind of missed it. So that's where that's got to go. So when that's there, what I can do is I can go ahead and move this and this. And I can go ahead and take those and move those right like this over to where it needs to be, which would be right here. And that should be, okay, that should be correct. All right, and then I just have to redimension it. So let me do that, make sure we're all set. And we should be. Let's check this out. Okay, and so, all right, so I'll go from here to there, and that's 7'3". So we're good to go there, get rid of this line. Okay, and then this one, these others should be 6'9" when I'm done. All right, feel pretty good about that. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Dimensions, okay, and I'll go ahead and do this. And let's see, this should be 6'9". Hopefully, nope, that's 7'3" as well. So that's got to be changed to 6'9". Okay, so we'll move that over. That would be 6 inches. Yeah, 6 inches. All right. Okay, let's try that again. And we'll go ahead and put this on the dimensions layer. Try this again. See how we're doing here. All right, that's 6'9". This last one should be 6'9" if I got it right. And I think I did this time, so we'll find out. Yeah, that's good. All right, that's what it should look like. So sorry about that. And when you got this in place, you got that. And then I'll take a look at my stairs. My stairs actually end kind of like at the midpoint there. So I think we're good to go. Yeah, I think we are. I'll offset one more. We're good to go. Offset one more. 12 inches. Oh, got some questions right here. Let's see here. Mine. Okay, sorry, we're just walking. Okay. All right. I noticed that my call gets been glitching on someone for some reason. I can't figure out why. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. It's great hearing the banter, you guys. I like seeing it. It's like it's nice being around people after we've all been cooped up for so long, isn't it? So it's a good thing. So I'm going to offset this, and we're going to say 12. Man, my machine is really slowing down. Can you guys still hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
yeah. It's just kind of right now. Unfortunately, I'm kind of like having some issues with my machine. I just want to kind of get this done before I lose it, because right now it's starting to really drag, and that's never a good sign. Okay, we'll go there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim that. Trim and trim. Like that. There we go. And then we do the same thing here. We go ahead and extend. All right, that, and then I'll like that, and then trim again. Okay, and that is pretty much how the stairs would be. Now, the last thing we do is put in some notation here. So that's the basics. Now, you guys should know how to put in the blocks. Okay, I've got the blocks, by the way. The blocks are actually, you know how to insert those. You type in I, hit enter. Doesn't like that. So forget that. I'm not going to do that. So instead of doing that, I'm going to go up to insert and I'll go to block. And I got this, I've got my blocks right here. I got sliding door and I got window. And this is where you place these. Okay, so I go ahead and place these. You know how to place these. And I'll let you guys work on that. Okay, so I'm not going to do that right now just because my machine's starting to flip out. So I'm going to save this real quickly before I lose anything else. The last couple things are a couple of notations, okay, what you got right over here. So the notations that I've got here are actually 4-inch concrete slab reinforced, okay? And then you've got these right here. These are called leaders, okay? So you got leaders and you got these different notations here. So this one says 6 foot by 6 foot. I'm just gonna put this one in stringers, 2-inch tip. I'll put that one in. I'll show you how you do this. So first of all, you would change your, text. You go ahead and put on the text layer. And then what we do is your leaders, I'm on the annotate tab right now. You got leaders over here. So I'm gonna put in a leader and we'll see how this works. I'm gonna go ahead and type in, what I say, I want to say stringers 2-inch typical. Okay, so go ahead and do this. So I'll go ahead and place this. Okay, try this. Okay, what happened there? I should have done this. All right. Let's see. I should be able to go over here. Bring this over to. Okay. Okay, so what was I doing here? Okay, so what I want to do there at this point is I want to put in the notation. So right up here, I'll go to my leader right here, and I'll go ahead and place it right here. And I'll click on this. Now you'll notice that I got I've got a nice straight arrow right here. I'm going to click here, and I go ahead and just do this. So I type in, I'll do that again. Repeat leader, dink, dink, dink. Okay, then I type in stringers. Oh, okay, any distance, I'll go ahead and just type in. Okay. Okay, so stringers, 2-inch tip. Like that. Stringers 2-inch typical, looks like that right there. Okay, so now I've got that in place right there. Now I've got that right there, stringers 2-inch typical, and you'll notice that right here, the arrow is curved. Well, that is something I can also change with my properties. Okay, so I go to here, and if I want it to be curved, I can click on this right here, and I can right click and go to my properties. And what I would do is right up here for my leader type, I would change it from straight right here to spline. When you make a spline, you're able to do that. And then you could actually also, in this place, it's underlining it too, isn't it? Your extension, no, close fill. All right, contents. Okay, and that's how I go ahead and put that in place right there. So you got that. Okay, so I've got that stringers 2-inch typical, and that is what I've got in place right there. Then I just take it and move it, and I can go ahead and do that kind of thing. Okay, so that's got a couple of underlines on it, but we can go ahead and use that. That's actually okay, and we go ahead and move that around. So we've got that stringer right there. I got that notation there, and then I'd have the other notations that I'd have in place right here, which would be like for your 6-inch for the different other ones that are out here. And so you guys can do that as well. I don't think I need to show you how to do that, but those are called leaders, and leaders are where you see any of these notations with an arrow on them. And then by default, they've got a straight arrow, but that's how you do that. And then the very last thing is you have these arrows right here. These arrows are on the section layer, and I'm going to go ahead and draw those up. So over here to draw the sections, I would go over here and I could use my leader for this one right here, and I could just go ahead and do this kind of a thing where I've actually got a section right here which says C, so I'm going to go ahead and go here, and then over, and then up, and then over like this, and I'll just go ahead and do that. Okay, do that one more time. All right, so go to here. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Enter. 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 Yes, okay, so I got that right there. So then when I got that in place right there, I can take it and change its layer. And the layer I want it to be on is going to be section like that. And then once, come on, make it section. Change that to the section layer. All right, there it is. And then I could actually mirror that. Okay, we go ahead and mirror it. All right, we go ahead and just mirror that like that. Okay, raise source objects, no. And then at that point, I would place my notation here for C. So I can just go here and I'd place this in there like this. I'd go ahead and go here and I'd place here and then go there and I type in C. And I think that's too large. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to change that. So that's too large. And so I'd go and change the properties and change the text height from 2 feet to like, let's say 6 inches, which I think will look better. And a couple little edits here, you got that. And the C looks like that's a little small. So you can make it, that's probably about right. So you go ahead and make it that size or make it even a foot. So go to properties and I change the text height to be 12. Let's try that. And once I got that in place, we are good to go. And so I go here, and then I'll go here and change this layer to section, and we'll go ahead and do that. So that's how we go ahead and put that together right there. And then I would copy that up to the top. And this is how we go ahead and place these notations in here. Okay, so we've got these different things in there. So that's how we go ahead and complete this plan right here. So that is it. That's everything we have right there. I think you guys, that's plenty right there. It's a pretty good workout. And yeah, so all this is there. It's going to take a little bit of time. I show you the basic tough spots. The others should be pretty straightforward. So that's all I'm going to share for tonight. That's all I've got as far as this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the recording. That's all I'm going to have for the lecture, just so we're clear about that. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.